So, dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. And be comfortable yourself and relax your body. So let me get connected with the other network and then we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened one. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we mainly try to provide some basic, authentic, organic information for yourself to develop a certain kind of good foundation for your spiritual development, especially for your meditation practice. Because when it comes to meditation, people practice in different ways and they have different intentions and motivations. And at the same time, they follow different kind of methods, techniques. So then we have to be very clear with ourselves what we need out of this all. And if you look for the real liberation or the change or the wisdom or the truth or the dharma, so then you have to come to tranquility meditation and vipassana meditation. So the tranquility meditation, as you know, most of people like to be happy, calm, relaxed, comfortable, joyful. So that kind of, so the tranquility meditation will lead you to have that kind of result. And as a human being, according to this, the capacity of human mind, you can achieve to the highest of the happiness and satisfaction through the tranquility meditation. But the thing is this, that whatever you achieve, you have to remember it is not permanent. There is no ultimate, there is no that kind of like immortal happiness, or the kind of like a very unchangeable mental state that you can gain. So that is one thing you have to be very, there is no doubt about it. And whatever, it's nothing wrong with the happiness or satisfaction. So we have to be very clear. There's nothing wrong with the happiness or satisfaction. There is nothing wrong with the desires. But the thing is that whatever you achieve, that moment not going to be permanent. Why it is not permanent? Because there is no such a thing or the place going to be itself without depending from something. So if anything depending on something, it is not independent. And then according to that, the environment, according to that, the cause and the result going to be changed. So then that is what the very nature of this all. So then even by observing the outside, without putting your opinion, if you just observe the very nature of the outside, you will see that. And at the same way, observing yourself also just as who you are, when you observe your body, your mind, your behavior, that you will recognize that everything come out of the result of cause and effect. There is no such a independent kind of like isolated event happen inside or outside world. So once you understand this, it will help you to look what is the end, how you can end. So in the beginning, you have to develop the tranquility state, but rather than settle down there, to end of this all, to get out of this all, you have to come to the vipassana level. So in the vipassana meditation, it is not a kind of like a magic. It is kind of like a vipassana meditation, deeply bring kind of like a understanding to recognize there is no such a self-centered person, or there is no such a thing called I am. Because that is the very basic understanding that you can gain through vipassana. Another thing is, you recognize deeply the causation, cause and effect. So that's how you get out of the self-centered mind. So in the vipassana, in tranquility meditation, there are in Theravada Buddhism, and there are 40 meditation techniques. And there are like when it comes to the Mahayana tradition and the Vajrayana tradition, there are many methods they have to tranquilize the mind. And there are some Tibetan methods that they have thousand techniques to tranquilize the mind. Maybe it worked for someone, but the thing is this, just settle down, being tranquilizing the mind is not enough for us, because it's not going to be permanent, or it's not going to be there forever. The one day it's going to change. So that's why, rather than going that way, if we look for the vipassana level, and from the vipassana method, if you capable to get the deeper understanding, and then you are capable to get into the liberation or the transformation. So it is totally different way of understanding. So when it comes to the vipassana, in the Satipatthana Sutta, there are 4 meditation techniques that you go through, 4 foundations. Those are the very classic way of practicing meditation, contemplating the body, kaya anupassana, and contemplating the sensation, vedana anupassana, contemplating the thoughts process, chitta anupassana, contemplating the Dhamma, or the very phenomena, Dhamma anupassana. Those are the 4 pillars of Satipatthana or the Vipassana meditation. And out of that 4, there are some other categories, some other techniques related to this, all the 4 meditation techniques. So, and at the same time, there are that in day-to-day life, to get into the deeper level of, so when it comes to the Vipassana, remember there is it has a character, it has a certain way of behavior with the meditation. It doesn't go with the outside layers. It's not trying to get into, give you kind of like a head massage. It's not kind of like make you kind of like a please. It not has any intention to make you kind of like a feel good. Just imagine, just feel good. You can make somebody feel good, but when you want to make someone right, it's totally different. But most of the time in a very conventional life, we like to feel good rather than being right. So as parents, sometimes, as brothers, sisters, or as elders, sometimes, when you go with children or when you go with the newcomers, students, and sometimes when you try to explain the truth and they come against you, and sometimes they think you are not nice to them. So like that, when it comes to the Vipassana level, just remember, it doesn't hold it to any kind of pattern or the method or kind of like that. It deeply go to the bottom of the truth, rather than giving any kind of head massage. Rather than, sympathizing, empathizing, or kind of like you go to the direct understanding. So while we practice meditation, you gain that the same nature. And today I'm going to give you some kind of basic information regarding these elements and how you can practice the Vipassana level of the deeper understanding using these 4 elements. There are 6 elements, but just go with the 4 elements, and then another day we can talk with the other 2, because it is little bit complicated. But if you practice with these 4, naturally you will get that other 2. So the very basic 4 elements, as you know, heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. So these elements, and other 2 is the space and the consciousness. So how you can practice this 4 with meditation with elements, especially when it comes to the Venerable Sariputta, and he used to practice this, and he gained so much benefit out of it. And another person, that the Venerable Rahula, the Prince Siddhartha's son, and he also, that the Buddha many times explained regarding these 4 elements and how you can practice it as a meditation, contemplate on it, and gain the same qualities to you. So let's go to that and see in day-to-day life, you can reflect on it each and every time. And personally in my life, and it helped for me to get out of most of the situations. And it really transforms you. It really affects for a person and the person character deeply. And I hope that this information will help for yourself to practice from today with these 4 elements, and deeply it will help you to transform. So when it comes to that elements, so it has a certain kind of character and the nature. So then everything came out of this ultimacies or the elements, which we call the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. So it is outside this entire universe and inside this head to toes, this whole body, and came out of the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. So whatever the heat outside and whatever the heat inside, both has the same quality. Whatever the motion inside, the outside has the same quality. Whatever the liquidity, this liquid nature has the inside, outside, both the same quality. Hardness has the same quality. So then, when it comes to that the hardness, that we just take a symbol to understand that symbol we call the earth. So how you can practice this as a meditation? When it comes to the meditation, it's kind of like you reflect on the qualities of the earth. So just imagine the earth has the very nature to come back. And the other thing is, it can't, it's kind of like has a very strong power to purify. So anything that, just imagine all the dirt sometimes we dump into the earth, and the dead bodies, we just put into the ground, and then after 3 months, 4 months, what happened? It's become the soil. And all this junk we collect, sometimes the trash we collect from certain places, but we put to the earth. And as you know, sometimes that the gas or the very nuclear, the chemicals, that things people put deeper underground. So after a while, what happens? It becomes neutral. So that's mean this soil, this earth quality has power to purify. And it unshakable. Another thing is, it doesn't have kind of like a nature to judge. It doesn't have a kind of like a nature to go and, react. Sometimes people say, oh, the nature react, or whatever people did bad things to the nature, it's going to come. It doesn't have that kind of consciousness, or, they did something bad for me, I'm going to, come and, catch you. It's not like that. So this earth has so much power to purify anything. Whatever you put it to the earth, it has power to purify. Rather than hold it, rather than keep it the same, it has power to purify. And another thing is, the quality of the earth never going to change. That is the beauty. So whatever you put it to the earth, it has power to recycle, purify it, but earth never going to change. Just imagine in these billion years through these human civilizations, how much dirt we put it to the ground, but still it's there. So you have to reflect on that, and then just imagine because now you know the quality of earth, that the elements that in you also. You came out of the earth element. So now it is in you. So then reflect yourself. You have the same thing that, so whatever come to you, rather than that you judge it, you hold it, you transform out of that information, you just purify it. It becomes neutral. That is where you develop the equanimity. So, and another thing is that earth has the, as an element, it doesn't change. That again and again, you can do anything to that. Just imagine you get a tool and start to dig the the earth from this point to that point, kind of like that, and but it never going to. After a few months, again it go back to that. It doesn't care. So like that the compassion, kindness, that the sympathetic joy, equanimity, the four qualities has with this earth. So then when you reflect on that, the earth quality in you, you develop this kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and the equanimity. So you become like earth. And then when anybody can put dirt on you, you're not going to fight with the people who ever put the dirt, and you are capable to transform it, recycle it, and purify it. And you become more strong with that dirt. You come back with that dirt, and even later, there's no dirt anymore. So like that, the quality of earth always reflect yourself. The hardness. And then finally, you develop the equanimity, unchangeable, unshakable, that the awareness. So that way, then from the outside world, so whatever the disturbances come to you, and then you are capable to go with it. And you are capable not to resist. You can dump any kind of, dirt to this earth. It's not going to resist. It will accept. So how about if you become a person, if anybody can tell anything to you, and anybody can, do anything to you. How in from your side, how if you are capable to accept it? So that bring that quality to yourself. It happens when you reflect on it. So that's why. And another one is the water. So now you know the method. Now you know the method. So now you get the quality of the water. You see, the water has power to wash anything. For clean everything, what we does, we wash, if you have the water, forget about, other things you do, you're good. Any dirt, just imagine for a day, just even this, busy Los Angeles area, the water that clean from people's hands to mouth to face to body to, this everything. It has power to clean, not to hold anything. And then the water has power itself to purify. So that's it never going to, be the same, no. And other thing is it's always in a journey. It's not going to hold with anything. And it has power to transform to anything that has, remember that what the Bruce Lee told, and when be like the water, my friend, be like the water. When you put it to the cup, it becomes the cup. You to the bottle, you become the bottle. And sometimes you listen to that. He explained it in a very beautiful way. It's from in the very ancient that the Tao, the teachings that go with these elements. So in the Vipassana level, deeply you go, because once you touch these four elements, remember, That's the end. There is nothing beyond the elements. So through this all the vipassana also you go to that depth. And so reflect on the quality of the water, liquidity. And then remember that 70% of your body is water. So then you are already have it. But the thing is, when we reflect on something else, we neglect that who we are. So then bring it and keep that power of water in you. Just imagine if you're capable to get that quality to your mind, how beautiful it is. You know, because you have no kind of like a form. You have no name, kind of like you don't hold it to, oh, I am this person. No, I am the A. Oh, A means, you know, from birth to death, which part of you mention as, you know, your name. No, it's a journey. So like that, always reflect on, and you know, then when it was something, it's not going to complain about anything. It's not going to fight for anything. So bring that ability to yourself and be like a water. And then no one can hold you. Even just by yourself also, you're not going to look for a place to settle down. No. So that power, develop the kindness, the compassion, you know, the generosity, sympathetic joy, and finally the equanimity. That is the end. You know, out of this all the elements, that you develop that all other qualities, but finally remember the equanimity is the finally it settled down itself. Not going to have any kind of joy, or not going to have any kind of worry, unsatisfaction. That's the power of the element. So you became out of the element. So then you have to have that quality in you. So reflect on that quality. And other one is that hardness, and the next one is the motion, the air, the quality of the air. You know, it also have power to, you know, to wash things away. You know, and as you know, when the seasons change, sometimes, you know, that when the winds come, it take out all the dust. And as you know, in the early morning, when you open the doors and the windows, you know, that when the winds go through the house, and it purified to, you know, you feel so fresh. And when you go to the car, you know, with the tiredness, when you go to the mountain or the beach, you know, when you get the breeze or the you know, the air and the wind, it's make you feel so relaxed, comfortable. You know, it refresh everything. So be like a person like with that quality, you know, gain anything. And the other thing is, it doesn't hold it to any shape. You know, it doesn't have any kind of you know, the personality. Oh, I am the person like this. It should be like this way. No, the wind doesn't have a shape. It go this way, that way. You know, wherever the, you know, the necessary, it go that way. And sometimes, as you know, it becomes so rough, you know, like tornadoes, but still it settled down. You know, so like that, bring the quality of the air, and then reflect on it, and remember that you are the result of air. Just as example, if you can't inhale, what will happen? If you can't exhale, what will happen? So your life mean itself power of air. What else? So then why you don't have that quality in you? Because you came out, you became out of the air, but you don't have that quality in you. So it is not a kind of like a imagination. It is not a kind of like a, mesmerizing. It's not kind of like a brainwash. You go, you claim, you go to the, very authentic, you call for your blueprint, because you came out of the four elements. Now you reflect on that element. It is in you. So that's why, and recognize the quality of the air and be like air. And the fourth one is the fire. Fire is that is the method, the giving the energy, the life, bring out of the fire. Another thing is, as you know, the irons, especially the gold, silver, this iron has power to change things, and at the same time, when you burn through the irons, it has power to purify. See, the water has power to purify, the wind has power to purify, the earth has power to purify, the air, the fire also has the nature to purify things. When you burn something, it's kind of like, clean. So as you know, in the ancient time, that sometimes that when people, had, kind of like a very bad damage, the skin damage, sometimes they go through the burning, and it kind of like a way to, cleanse. And other thing, this all the material things, it has power to reform, and change, like ironsmith, goldsmith, putting the fire and beating. It has power to, melt things. So when you have the fire nature in you, it's bring the energy to you yourself, and at the same time, it has power to transform. It has power to purify. So whatever, put anything to you, if you are like the fire, but in the nowadays in the society, when we say kind of like the fire, it's kind of like, it's a different meaning. But if you really look the very quality of the fire, the elements, it is the one of the greatest element, can give the life. And other thing is the purify. So if you are like the fire, then remember, so whatever that, if anybody put it to you like dirt, or the blame, giving hard time, you have power to transform it. You have power to, burn it and clean it, cleanse it. So keep that. So now you know these elements and bring that quality into you. So that is one thing. And reflect on that. And every day, reflect on that. 1 week enough for you if you do it right way. You're completely going to become a different person. You really go into the touch the bottom of the nature. And from that point, you can master it, and in day-to-day life, you can reflect on it, and it is just for yourself to, to practice day by day. Even when you observe the inhalation, exhalation deeply, finally, it takes you to this. But you can take the four elements as the mental object, and you can practice on it. Reflect on the qualities. And remember, it has power to bring the purity to yourself. And at the same time, finally, as a mental quality, it develops the equanimity. It develops the kindness, compassion, generosity, sympathetic joy, but ultimately, it brings the equanimity. And then, that, and sometimes this element mix and work together and has a very kind of like a, deeper connection each other. So then this is one way that you have to practice yourself first. So then another method that you can practice after you become very clear with recognizing the nature, you advance this to apply it to your day-to-day life in another way. How you can do that? This is way. So just imagine, there's nothing can appear. There's nothing can appear into the world without 4 elements. So whatever appear, it need the 4 elements. So then just imagine when someone blames you, you just hear the words. So then how that words come out of that person? There's example, when I talk, then maybe I think, oh, I am the one who talking. Oh, I am the one monk who teach, meditation. Oh, I give a Dhamma talk, so like that. I can hold it to myself with the egocentric mind. But just imagine when it comes to, if I don't have the 4 elements, right, balance, do you think, can I talk like this? So that's all the tongue, the teeth, that especially as when it comes to the air element, and to bring the words to outside and it listen to yourself, and the necessary heat when it comes to, your ears, that just imagine if it is, not the right, the kind of like, the balance of your heat inside, then what will happen? Then maybe you hear something else. So with the eyes, the same, the nose, the same. So then the tongue, as you know, sometimes when we have the cold, when we have the fever, our whole, this, the life change. And as you know, according to the seasons, summertime, winter time, our life pattern change, our like dislike change. And when, as you know, when the sky becomes so gloomy and cold, and sometimes it affects for our mindset. And there are some places, some people suicide or get depressed, and because of the environment. See that? Then how you can claim that what you experience or what you do as you? Because when I lift my hand, so maybe I think, oh, this is my hand, I do this. So to lift that, the element of air, and at the same time, the element of hardness, the element of the motion, the element of liquidity, and as you know, with these joints, lubrication, cartilages, need to work. It's the watery, the nature should be there. And the life force, the heat need to be in a certain way. Otherwise, if the heat disappear, what will happen? Just imagine I put this hand to kind of like a very, cold, deep pressure. And after a few minutes, what will happen if, when I take this? That all that activity become neutral. So then when I do something, I claim it as me, or I am. But now this all the 4 elements behave in a certain way. So the beauty is then how you can get the benefit out of it as practicing meditation. So then somebody blamed you. Just imagine with the very bad words, and you reflect on 4 elements. It's not the person that. It's not, oh, that person blamed to me with these words. No, that you recognize how is 4 elements, the air go, the air pressure go high, the heat and the joy and the hardness, this thing, you enjoy that. Then it becomes kind of like a different, sign language for you to deeply recognize the very nature of, this existence. And then you're not focused to the words, and you recognize this is the behavior of four elements. And maybe with the happiness also the same. Somebody becomes so happy and jump and, laugh and, sing. But you recognize, if one element disappears, it's not going to be there like that. So like that, you can reflect on you, and you can reflect on outside, and you can reflect on the perception, and you can reflect on the perceiver, and you can reflect on the sensory object. So in that way, deeply, you go to the depth of this very nature and understand how these things come to be as they are. That is the ultimate wisdom of the vipassana. It is not just settle down with something and see things as it is. It's the very depth of how things come to be as they are. And once you know the very behavior of the four elements, you know how these words come like this. And once you know the very nature of the four elements, when the sensation arises, and you know how that sensation arises, like when the body moves, and contemplating the body, standing, sitting, walking, lying down, so you recognize the very behavior of the four elements. It is not you, it is not the self, it's the behavior of the four elements. So then again you go to the causation, cause and effect. So that's how deeply you go into that and recognize. So then from today, try to spend some time. Whenever you have opportunity, when you go to sleep, when you wake up early in the morning, when you have free time, and even with anything, whatever you do, when you watch a movie or when you do things, just imagine around yourself a little bit and experience it. And this is you have to be so personal. Remember, don't go crazy, when you with the husband or wife, with children, with other, your partners, or kind of like that. Don't try to practice these things, then they think you are crazy. So you do it so personal way. And when you go to the outside world, when you in this conventional world, you have to remember, and you have to adapt to that situation. Be like water, my friend. Okay, so just adapt to that situation. When you go with the husband or the wife, you have to be the husband or the wife. When you play with the children, you have to be the parents like that way. When you go with the partner, you have to be the partner for that way. So like that, you have to adapt to that way. And rather than, contemplate on yourself, this is four element. How about you go with the partner, or you sit with the husband or the wife or the children, and you start to reflect on, oh, this is heat, motion, liquidity and hardness, like that. Don't do that crazy things. Yes, there are some people. That's why I mentioned it. There are some people, they don't understand. So they try to apply it to everything. No. That's why this is more personal. You reflect on, yourself. Just use it for your own personal experience and deeply recognize within you. And sometimes observe the nature, and sometimes then let allow it to grow inside you as practice. And then by the time your practice bring the wisdom to yourself. Otherwise, don't try to think and gain the wisdom. It is a so different way. That is how we learn. But here, not. You just practice. It's like farming. The farmers just, put necessary things and take care of them, and the harvest will come. So like that, let the wisdom to come. Otherwise, without practicing, don't use the wisdom. Don't try to apply the wisdom. That's a very wrong way. That's what most of people does. They don't practice. But they try to now, oh, I heard the four element. Okay, I want to, go with that. No, you can't do that. You will go crazy. You know, you will make a lot of mistakes, and then finally you are in trouble. No, don't do that. So start to practice, reflect on the qualities of the four elements. And then by the time the wisdom will arise in you, and then you know what it is. So with that, so from today, and I hope that it will bring some good result to yourself, and just a little bit keep practice. So now we get into a little bit practice ourselves. So be comfortable with your posture, your right palm on your left. Bring attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say, so Pateva, oh, may I be well and happy. 3 times. And take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalation. And while you observe the sensation, remember, try to recognize the four elements: heat, motion, liquidity, or the hardness out of your sensation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation. And allow it to happen itself. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as the light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward, and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjisami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.